Today we're taking a look at my 1981 GMC 3500 Mason dump truck. I have this truck because I needed to move some material around my house and yard. So I decided to get a dump truck, then I can dump these materials right where I need them. I don't have to have a big pile dump somewhere and then have to wheelbarrow it. At least I can get it close. So we'll take a walk around, we'll take a look. It's not in bad shape for what it is for a 1981 basic Mason dump truck. I'm not sure who used it before me. I got it from a guy who didn't own it very long. But the quick backstory is I saw this truck for sale on the highway and I looked at it and they wanted way too much because I wanted a Mason dump to do this work I had coming up at my property. So I said, oh, square bodies are nice. They're hot now. So I'd like to get a square body, and it was available, but was too much. So a few months later, I'm looking online and I see this truck advertised by a guy out in eastern Pennsylvania. So he even had the same picture of the truck out on Route 22 where he bought it from. So I knew the truck was the same truck, and this guy was asking substantially less. So I went and took a look. It's in decent shape, so it'll serve the needs that I need to do. I'll do a few more loads this year. Last year I counted, I loaded about 15 loads of material, various stuff, mulch, 3/4 red stone, topsoil, some mill fines, some various materials hauled with this truck, and it just saved me a lot of effort doing it myself than having to pay someone to deliver it for me. So let's get a close-up look and see what it's all about. I'm shooting all this today on my crappy phone because my GoPro died. So I like the bat phone, but it's only a crap phone. But so why this video is kind of not as good. The truck has about 96,000 miles on it, which I believe are original. Then got the Bristol Donald mud flaps, and I remember seeing these around. I was in construction back in when this truck was new and was available with trucks like this, and you've seen those mud flaps around a lot in the early 80s when this truck was new. And Bristol Donald Company is still in business up in North Jersey, and I'm not sure if they're just a distributor for the bodies or if they made the bodies, but I find it interesting that they're still intact, they're still on there. I had to touch up the white paint a little bit, but they add to the character of the truck. It's definitely been used. It's definitely, the bed's beat up. It had pavement, concrete in it. Has a bunch of patches in it. I put those white patches just to stop stuff from falling through. So it's definitely not perfect, but there was a lot of tar on the mud flaps and on the tailgate. I got some of that off. I added the bed sides. Tires are decent. Still, the paint is definitely a 20 to 50 footer. It's good for blind people. There's a lot of texture in it. They can feel how nice it is with their hands. But for a truck this old, you don't see them on the road too often, and it's fun to drive. It's not a I'm old enough where I remember driving these trucks when they were new. So it's nothing new for me. I had another Mason dump, a 4x4 Dodge 74 Mason dump. So let's take another look. So under the hood we have a your basic 350 small block. Now it's not just a Chevy engine, but GMC engine, but it's all the same. And it runs pretty good. Got a quadrajet on it that's really not that great. I have a few others that I may try to put on. I also have a spread bore Holly I may try on it just for fun, see if that works. It's got Hydro Boost for the front brakes, so it's power brakes, but if you're not familiar with what Hydro Boost is, it uses fluid pump from the power steering pump to give hydraulic assist for the brakes, and they work pretty good. I just put new calipers, new pads, and new hoses. I was pulling to one side or the other when I stepped on the brakes, and I found that the hoses were pretty restricted. They were pretty old. So that's a good tip if you're working on this old stuff. The hoses always deteriorate and close up on the inside, so you definitely have to do that. I cleaned up under here a little bit. I had to put a water pump on it last year, and I decided to paint stuff just to clean it up a bit. You know, the radiator was replaced before I got it. It's, you know, plastic and aluminum, but it runs beautifully cool. I can't complain. So I need to clean up this blower assembly. I just got to find some time, but it's not crucial. And it runs all right, like I says. So it is a manual trans. Let's go inside, take a look at that. So on the inside, yeah, it's a truck, you know, and it's been a work truck, I'm sure its whole life. Never babied. It wasn't somebody's, you know, garage truck. But I think it was stored inside, because when I got it, the heater ducts are all full with pink insulation and pink and yellow, so building insulation. So I think, you know, the mice are in there nesting up at that, but it doesn't really stink. It's not too bad. They didn't really make a mess of it too bad. Yeah, the interior's rough. It was recovered, the seat, and then it was just tore up, and I just taped it up. So I'd like to get a seat cover maybe. We'll see how that goes. It is a 3-speed plus low, even though there's 4 forward gears, but you really can't, you know, count low as first, because it's really low, granny gear low. So you can start in that 1, and this is 1, 2, 3, but if you're going to pull up a hill or pull a load, starting in that load is the way to go. And then 2 sticks for the dump. One is the PTO and the other one is up down on the dump. We can demo that. And okay, here's your current mileage. We got 96660. So I put a little tack on here just so I can see how high the engine's spinning and monitor its progress from driving. Real basic inside though, you know, heater, obviously no air, no dome light, and it was never there. So it was weird. It was option with no dome light. I don't know what kind of radio, but probably just an AM radio, because it's just a center speaker. The dash top is pretty busted up. They all get cooked like this. So that's available. You know, this truck's got to work for me. It's not a, you know, just a pretty face. Not a garage queen. I got more stuff to haul with it already. So let's just take a look. Alright, so yeah, let's start her up, see how it sounds. I got like a lifter tick when it first starts dead cold, but I got plenty of oil pressure, and let's see what we do. Alright, so here's some makeup footage on the 81 GMC dump truck. My phone is just so shaky. So now the GoPro charged up a bit, and get a little extra footage. Go for a little drive. This is the driving footage was really bad. It was really shaky. My phone is not stabilized. GoPro is much better at this. So let's give it a go again. Alright, hopefully get a little nicer driving video. The camera's sitting on a tripod in the passenger area. And I can still see it shaking a bit. So hopefully somewhat stabilized. There we go. Little action. Down the driveway. Drivers. Tons of fun in the sun in the winter time. Stopped, then we'll be down in the pond here. Get those off there. There we go. There's one right here. I'll start her off in low. Pulling uphill. Here we go. Video may make people motion sick, may make me motion sick if I go to look at it, but it's a whole new thing. So we'll see what we get. And of course, what's a dump truck that doesn't dump? So we'll give that a little demo. Got a little welcome mat here for any little visitors that want to get in here and check it out. They're welcome. A little snack for them. So let's give it a run. Alright, well, let's see if this thing dumps some. So basically, to run the dump and the hydraulics, put the clutch in, don't put it in gear. Some PTOs you do put in gear, not this one, but you got to stop the trans because this hangs right off the trans, this PTO. This stick engages, let the clutch out, now it's turning. I manipulate the stuff. There we go. way up, go forward and come back down. We can hold with the PTO disengaged. We can hold the body in the upright position. We just keep it stiff. It won't go up anymore, but it will go down with the hydraulics. That's how this one runs. Some have PTO engagement. I've seen ones where you have to pull a lever. This one's a little different. So yeah, let's see it going up. So that's our 81 GMC Sierra 3500 mason dump. And we're gonna now, after a nice spring cleaning, we're gonna get ready to work for a living. We're gonna haul more of this red stone. We got to get some mulch. See what else comes up. Recently built this stone wall area here, so I need to complete the mulch on that, and just new mulch all the way down. You know, and just a bunch of other tasks out here in the wild western part of Hunterdon County, New Jersey. We're out in the woods. So, hope to see you again. Thanks for tuning in.